we're back. This is John.
Hey, it's Paul.
And it's Eric.
And it's What If Geeks. And we are brought to you by the power of GarageBand this time. Because apparently Audacity just said, no, actually it would be the other way around. Microsoft said, fuck you, Audacity. Yeah. And I upgraded my Mac and, that shit to bed like about, a week ago? Yeah, because we recorded on GarageBand as well, right?
Last week.
Yeah, so, that just happened. And it took me like a week and a half to try to figure out what the fuck's going on. And that was what Google said. Google said, nope, it's not supported anymore thanks to the upgrade. So, good luck, fucker.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But we figured out GarageBand, which shows you how much we've got on the ball. It took me a week to figure this shit out. And, now we're here. So we are recording, and it looks like it might actually sound better. We'll see. Paul, say something.
Something.
Yeah, okay.
All right, better.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he did something.
I feel like last week I was super loud. You were at a regular volume, and I was like, hey!
Yeah.
Everything I said.
Well,
it was, yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. So we're good. We are here now. And we are going to do the Geekly Weekly. Paul and I skipped the Geekly Weekly last week because he was running a little bit late, and then we had studio problems, so we're kind of like, I guess we're combining shit that we were going to talk about last week.
Yeah, I cut some things out from last week, and then there were the Oscars, so I added some new things in here, and hopefully we're condensed enough to keep this in an hour or so.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so what are we into?
Yeah, sure. What are we into?
All right. Anybody. Who's into what?
You know what? Since I just did this trip to a couple cities in Europe and back to DC and back, so I got about 21 hours in the air.
Wow.
So that gave me enough time. Well, it gave me more time than that, but enough time to watch 6 movies that we had talked about before, meaning to watch.
Right.
And we hadn't got through it. And, they happened to be on, I was flying United and Lufthansa, and they both have the, a streaming service on board or whatever, and they have movies that are not actually out on streaming services or TV yet, but they're out of the theaters. So
nice.
I got to catch up on a ton of stuff. I saw Charlie's Angels, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't even remember now. There's so many, but you know what? I don't have to remember because I did take notes on what I was doing. But
I wondered. So I noticed it was either on the Facebook page or something. We had a review of Charlie's Angels. I'm like, how do we have a review of Charlie's Angels?
Oh, yeah,
Which one of us would have seen Charlie's Angels? Like, how did that happen?
That would be.
I thought you copied it from somewhere.
I watched Good Boys, which you had already seen.
Yeah, awesome movie.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, I watched Deadpool 2 on a plane, and it was edited.
I watched Red Sparrow was one of the movies I watched that I hadn't seen before, and it was definitely edited because I remember a big deal about that scene she does. They didn't show anything. It was just like cut in, cut out. Nothing.
Good Boys wasn't edited, was it? That's probably not worth seeing.
Not that I know of. It seems like they only edited for visual, really, because the guy that was sort of diagonal in front of me, I could see through the crack. He was watching something that had an obscene amount of nudity, but it was all blurred.
Oh,
You couldn't see it. So, but they didn't take the dialogue out or whatever.
Right.
And Good Boys was, it was atrocious for little kids like that. I imagine it wasn't too edited.
Sounds right. I don't know how you can edit that movie and then it'd be like 2 minutes long.
Right.
Or
2 hours of beeps and.
I'm trying to remember like the things like the dildo stuff wasn't off limits. I don't know, what do you remember from that movie that was awful? And then
the flying CPR doll that exploded.
Yeah,
okay.
that was hilarious. That was actually really hilarious.
Yeah, see, I forgot Paul's
CPR doll. Yeah.
I need to go on a 21-hour plane ride.
I do have one question, and
remember, Paul hasn't seen it.
Very small spoiler alert. How do the parents not notice the CPR doll is missing when the kids sell it?
Well,
Do they have that many
CPR dolls?
CPR
probably.
Dolls?
Oh shit! Yeah, nice, cool.
Right, so I'm going to try to write 5 more reviews, hopefully, in the next week. I don't know.
Well, I have seen Playing with Fire, the John Cena. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like supposed to be like similar to the Pacifier for Vin Diesel and the Tooth Fairy for The Rock. That typical the big strong guy who's
Dave
stuck in
Bautista has one of these.
Yeah, he's got one too, right? They all do one, right? Oh, this is John Cena's, and it makes those look like Shakespeare. But what set my mind at ease is I didn't catch this part in the trailer, but when it opens up, immediately the opening credit or whatever, the opening visual that you get, title card, Nickelodeon, bloop, comes across the screen. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize this was by Nickelodeon. The rest of this is going to make sense now. Okay. I mean, I knew the target market was going to be kids or, families with kids.
Right.
But when I saw Nickelodeon, I was able to accept the entire fucking movie.
Right.
Because I knew it's like, I'm in SpongeBob brain now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get this now. And for that, it was fine. It was a good movie for that setting.
Right.
Cena did good. The kids I can't stand kid actors, but they did all right. I thought the little girl needed a helmet. I was like, she's running around. I'm like, half the time she's running around like she needs a helmet. The other half she's running around like I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this movie. But it was funny. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was good. So Noah liked it. He laughed. So there you go. There's my review of a movie I didn't think I was going to watch. How about you, Paul?
I watched episode 1 of Picard. Have you seen this yet?
Yes, yeah.
That's pretty
I
good.
watched all 3 of the first episode. Well, all 3 of
I
the
haven't
currently
caught-
released episodes.
Yeah.
Haven't caught it yet.
Yeah.
Definitely a little more of a slow burner than any previous Star Trek stuff.
The first
but-
one's all sort of nostalgia, right? There's a dream sequence of him hanging out with Commander Data, and there's some other stuff, and then he tells the story of something that happens by the end of Next Generation, somewhere between, I guess, the end of the movies and now, horrible thing that happens, and then there's apparently a cover-up, and so he retires to his vineyard, and then some other stuff happens, and but really good start of a show. So I'm in.
Cool. Anything else you're into?
I've been watching The Outsider. It's pretty interesting. I think I told you about that last week.
I just heard about it, yeah, and I heard about it on a podcast too. So, I definitely got to check this one out.
What is it?
Definitely a little
What is it?
It's on HBO. It's by it's not by Stephen King, but it's from Stephen King.
Yeah,
right,
it's
from that.
based on something Stephen King did. Yeah, it's I don't know how to explain this without ruining anything, but this guy is accused of killing somebody, and it seems impossible that he would have killed somebody, and there is a lot of questionable activities and sort of like, how could he have been in that place and that place at the exact same time? Something doesn't add up here. And so it's kind of like from the detective's perspective, mostly him trying to figure out like, how does this shit all tie together? How does this make sense?
Right.
I'm going to spoil it if I say why it's so important to him, but yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's very Stephen King, supernatural, like, but you don't kind of see it coming. There's like a creep to it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
gotta check that out.
Have you guys seen 1917 yet?
No,
It's really good. You guys.
you
gotta
told
see
me
that.
you saw it. Yeah,
You guys got to see that.
I know. I don't watch that one.
It's the best part about the movie is that there's no cutscenes, right? So like, and I think this is in the trailers. They get a mission to go and give a message to this other unit, and they're about to launch an invasion. If they do, they're going to get slaughtered. From that time, the camera stays on these two guys through the whole thing.
Oh,
So
yeah?
like, there's no shots of like, they'll do something and then stop, and then it cuts over to the men in the other unit, like getting ready. Like, it follows these two guys through the whole thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you definitely get sort of a on the ground perspective, like the narrative is accompanied by a viewpoint that's theirs too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
All right, sweet.
Very cool.
I would check it out. All right, so what are we up to? We got
Might as well go through the Oscar highlights. Just the shit we might care about. I'm really sad I didn't see this, by the way, because it was on the plane, and I thought, Parasite won Best Picture. It's a Korean film by Bong Joon-ho, I think is his name.
sure.
But it beat out Joker. It beat out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman. It also won the Foreign Film Award, Best Foreign Film Award. So it must have been really good.
Yeah.
And I think my understanding is, not having seen it, is that it's something about like a zombie-esque virus outbreak thing that happens. But maybe it's not quite zombies, but something
that sounds
along those
interesting.
lines. Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for Joker. Probably not a surprise after after the previous awards. Brad Pitt took home Best Supporting Actor for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did you guys see that, by the way?
No.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's worth seeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta check it out.
Bong Joon-ho won the Best Director for Parasite. But funny, he beat out Tarantino, Todd Phillips for Joker, Scorsese, Sam Mendes for 1917.
Wow.
Must have been a seriously good flick for all that.
I gotta check that out now.
And
Damn
then
it!
in a surprise turn, Joker beat Rise of Skywalker for Best Musical Score.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that coming.
I wouldn't even agree with that.
No, not at all. So, on that note, since we do not agree with the Oscars, stay tuned. We're about to be recording our second annual Geeky Awards. Yay!
I don't know that I've ever heard of the movie Parasite before the Oscars came out.
Yeah, I really didn't hear much about it. And
I think I might have seen like an article, but I skimmed right by it because it wasn't on my radar at all.
It got nominated, and then I was like, I don't know what that is. And then it won. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think maybe the nominations...
You winning the Oscar didn't fucking change a thing about me knowing your movie.
Right.
Maybe the nominations are what I knew it from. But I definitely recognized it on the plane. I'm like, maybe I should watch that. And then probably would have been my 7th movie if I had gotten there. But
Nice.
Now I regret it because it won Best Picture
and Best Director. Holy shit, yeah.
Over like a bunch of damn directors that are really good. For movies that are really good. Where were we? Trailers then?
Yeah.
There was a featurette. It's not really a trailer, but released for A Quiet Place, the sequel to A Quiet Place. Yeah, part 2. It's called Questions Answered, although the featurette doesn't answer anything. The point of it is that they're going to explain in Quiet Place Part 2 where the aliens came from and how the whole situation came to be. So that was kind of the point of it. It actually looks somewhat interesting. I'm sad that what's his name, John
Krasinski.
Thanks. Is not going to be in it, but I mean he's directing. So.
So side note, because you mentioned Krasinski, apparently I heard on another podcast I was listening to that he had started petitioning. Don't know if it's true. So a rumor, but started petitioning for some fan support for him to play Reed Richards. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Play it.
Sure.
Yeah. Which has been, because he's been one of the names that everyone keeps saying should play Reed Richards. And I'm like, well, duh. I mean, yeah, you do a good job.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Don't know.
There was a Fugitive series trailer release, so that's a reboot of the original Fugitive movie.
How many one-armed men's? How many one-armed men's gonna be running around this place?
Yeah, I don't know. So
that took a turn.
Kiefer, actually looks the trailer looks pretty interesting. Kiefer Sutherland is the main detective guy, basically the stand-in for Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
And then Boyd Holbrook, who plays Pierce in the Logan movie, he's gonna be the Mike Farrow. He's gonna be the fugitive.
Oh, cool.
So the interesting part about this, and we'll talk about it in a second, is this is actually coming out on a new streaming service because we need another one. It's called Quibi. It's a whole different concept on streaming services.
I think you're supposed to say it fast.
What?
Quibi. Quibi. That joke makes sense after you explain what it is.
Yeah.
Final trailer before we get into Quibi, and I'll explain what it is. The Invisible Man, they released their final trailer because that is coming out in theaters on the 28th. It's actually like a full-length trailer, about 3 minutes long.
It's a fucking Hollow Man reboot.
It is, in a sense. It's a little more sort of like a little more horror thriller because...
But that's what Hollow Man was.
Yeah, but in this sense, he's like stalking one particular girl, and it's like this whole domestic abuse thing where he just like wants to control her.
Okay.
It's kind of like
So it's
a
kind of
little
like
more personal,
sleeping with the invisible enemy.
Yeah. It actually looks pretty decent. And the other side of this they do, which they don't do in Hollow Man, is that she knows he's there. She knows he's around. She keeps trying to tell her friends and shit.
And they don't believe.
Like,
They don't believe her.
You know,
Right? Yeah, because that's when she winds up in the insane asylum, and he's there with her. That part is cool.
So I think they could make something out of this. Actually, I think it could be pretty interesting. So February 28th, it'll be out. So what the fuck is Quibi is the question. So Quibi stands for, so it's QUIBI. So that's quick bites. That's where it's a what the hell they call those? Where they combine the two words in part.
It's got mashup.
Yeah, an amalgamation.
Yeah, that's
amalgamation.
Whatever they're doing with like
Marvel and DC. Duh.
So the idea here is that this is going to be a streaming service that only does bite size, as they call it, video. Right. So it'll launch on the 6th. It's really targeting mobile users, people that are on the go. Like you can watch this on your phone while you're, I don't know, waiting for a flight or who knows, anything, standing in line at a store. The whole concept is that every single show or series or whatever, all of the episodes are going to be 15 minutes or less. So
this is the natural extension of we have the shortest attention spans in the history of ever.
Yeah, it's and this is like the Vine 2.0 is what it's going to be.
Yeah, I think
because that's what Vines were big for a while.
Like professional Vine studio.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so everything's going to be bite-sized like that. They actually do have quite a few things on here that sound pseudo-interesting. The Fugitive series reboot, like I said, watch the trailer. It does kind of look interesting. Who doesn't like Keith or Sutherland in some sort of action?
It looks like it's going to be good.
Anymore. Then there's a docu-series called Slugfest, which is going to be hosted by the Russo brothers, who did Avengers.
I'm interested in this.
And so they're going to do this. I forget how many episodes they said it was, but it's all about the rivalry. Well, the rise up and then eventual rivalry of Marvel and DC. And so the two of them are just gonna. Now they may be a little biased too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you could take your sweet time and do a really nice.
Well, again, it's going to be in like 10 to 15 minute chunks. So I'd imagine they're just going to do sort of one little piece of something. Maybe it's a particular year or a thing that happens between the studios or something like that in each little episode. So you just sort of watch it in bites, right? That's the point.
Yeah.
Quick bites.
Nice.
Life-size toys. This looked funny to me from the promo stuff I saw. So Nitro Circus, that Daredevil group that does all kinds of crazy stunts and whatever, they're going to recreate little toys like from back in the day and make those part of their stunts. So like you got a cannon that shoots a little guy out or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well they're going to build a big one and they're going to shoot themselves. That kind of concept. Right?
Okay.
So sort of playing off video games and toys of days of old. They also going to do I remember a Stomp Rocket. Those air-powered Stomp Rockets. Yeah, they're going to do one of those, but it'll launch a human instead of the rocket will be on his back or whatever. Right. It'll launch a human into the air.
Can't wait for them to recreate Donkey Kong when they get a giant gorilla to throw fucking barrels at them.
I can't believe this went wrong.
Do you remember Legends of the Hidden Temple, the game show that Nickelodeon had, like way back early 90s?
Vaguely, I think one of my kids.
So
not one of my kids. That would have been a cousin watched it. That was early. Never mind.
They're going to do a reboot of that, but they're going to do it in like a 10-minute format. I'm not sure how they're going to do it in a 10-minute format.
They'll film a whole damn thing and then split it up.
Yeah, maybe. That almost wouldn't be that interesting if they did it that way.
That's what I say, but none of this is interesting to me. Well, I mean, except for the Slugfest. But even still, though, just that format's not interesting to me. I mean, I get what they're going for, but like to Paul's point, this is just like an extension of the short attention span. But did you notice? Because I heard this said today too, like in a conversation, attention span today is either 3 minutes or 3 fucking hours.
Right. So
you can like watch like one of these quick little videos, or you can listen to a podcast like ours for an hour and a half, and there's no in between. I don't know what the fucking deal is. So anyway,
yeah, Elba versus Block. So Idris Elba is going to both learn to
punch a brick
stunt
wall,
car driver, and then he's going to compete with professional rally driver Ken Block in like competition after he learns. I'm not sure why he's doing this. But I guess if it's in little tiny increments of 10 minutes or whatever, I mean, maybe they just recorded it a few hours and it is what it is.
Yeah.
It seems like a weird thing for him to do, though. I mean, is he trying to?
Somebody probably sold him on the fact
he's personally auditioning to be the next Bond because people made all that stink about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, good idea. Let me show you how I can be a stunt car driver."
Right, and then you'll just hire me to be James Bond. He'd be a good James Bond.
I think so.
Do we know when does this start? When does Quibi
April
come out?
6th.
Okay.
Oh well, so is actually there's technically is there too long? No, April 6th.
Because they had a Super Bowl commercial. And it was like, I'll be there in a Quibi. And they're like, what? The bank robbers with the masks?
I'll be there in a Quibi.
Yeah. So, and it's not user-generated content, right? It's all
no. It's all
studio-made.
Professional studio-made content. Last one I put on here just because it sounded hilarious to me. It's called Murder House Flip. So they buy up like a house where there's been like a gruesome family murder or some shit, and then they flip it, but not just flipping it in the physical sense, but they're also trying to like remove the spirits and all this shit. So
there's no way any of this could possibly go wrong.
It's like HGTV meets Ghost Hunters or something.
It sounds like an SNL skit, or like if you were trying to make a parody of the next reality show. Is what
they show up at the house from Poltergeist and they're like, "You moved the headstones.
We're gonna redo the house from Amityville Horror and try to sell it.
There's no time to get the bodies. Just move the headstones. Wait, no, do it.
I wonder if they're going to tell the people that they ultimately sell the house to what went down there, or if it's just going to be silent on it.
Well, it's a little drafty in here. No, yeah, it's okay. Your air conditioning bill is going to be low.
Yeah. The walls are leaking. This was a new build. So it's going to be $4.99 a month.
It's not funny. My house was a new build and the wall leaks.
Yeah.
Asshole.
It's going to be $4.99 a month with ads, which I feel like is the wrong price point for with ads, but then $8 a month without ads. So 5 and 8. There's not much of a deviance there, and considering that some of the others have decided to do free ad supported and then charge for no ads. I don't know if that's really smart, but maybe people buy it because it's based on short attention spans, like you said. So it could be
Could you imagine if you have a short attention? If you have a short attention span and then you're forced to sit through ads, you're like, "Come on, it blows."
What's even better
is it's been 30 seconds of my 10 minutes.
If it's like those mandatory 30-second plus ads,
right.
you have to
you
watch.
Can't click through. Yeah.
No. Watch as much ads as I do content now. This is bullshit. Anyway, so that's Quibi, QUIBI.com. Check it out. See if you're interested. I doubt I'll be signing up for that one, but
no.
I have too many streaming services now.
No shit. I have to start sharing shit. I didn't say that.
Coming soon to theaters. I'll just do the ones that are really soon, like the next month or so. Sonic the Hedgehog drops Valentine's Day weekend. That's with James Marsden and Jim Carrey playing Mr. Robotnik. It looks better, I think. The redo of Sonic.
Yeah, they made him look better. They made Sonic look much better.
I'm not sure that it's going to be any good from the trailers I've seen. But
I agree.
Yeah, you know. February 28th, I already said, Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss. That's coming out. March 13th is one that we've rarely talked about here on the show, but oddball comic-based Bloodshot with Vin Diesel starring as Bloodshot. I don't know. There hasn't been much
there hasn't.
behind this.
There's been not a lot of advertising for something that's not a well-known property.
Yeah, but so generally speaking, Vin Diesel has been, I think, a boon to some properties just being there. Like, it's not like Triple X was based on anything.
Right.
It's very successful, right? And I'm not sure how many people really understood the whole, how much story there was to, why am I blanking?
Quibi. There's not a whole lot of story to Fast and Furious.
Another big thing Vin Diesel's in that's not Fast and Furious.
Pitch Black.
Pitch Black, thank you.
You're welcome. Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick. So I'm not sure how many people really knew about Chronicles of Riddick beforehand, but there have been a lot of people that have latched on to that franchise, I guess. So maybe there's something to it. And then March 20th, the sequel to A Quiet Place Part 2.
A quieter place.
The quietest place. The very quietest. Box office updates.
Welcome to ASMR. Jesus, here we go again.
Gretel and Hansel had a pretty mediocre $6 million opening weekend, but it was butted up against the Super Bowl. So
speaking of butts,
butted.
Yeah. It did earn $3.5 million on the second weekend. Now this is for a film that's budget was only $5 million, so they're almost double their budget at this point, which is the general rule for profitability. So
yeah, they did it.
They're probably doing all right. The critic scores were decent on this. 60%, 61% on Rotten Tomatoes,
which means
the audience scores have been abysmal, like the worst shit ever, like in the 20s. I mean, really bad.
Wow.
So, I said it sounded interesting. I now say I probably won't see it until it's on TV or a streaming service.
Oops, excuse me.
Bad Boys for Life, not surprisingly, still doing very well. Had 18 million Super Bowl weekend, another 9 million this past weekend. So it's up at 166 million domestic and 336 worldwide. So
I want to see this.
Yeah, I do too.
I kind of do too.
Yeah. We have to have a guy's night.
Some people say, who cares about box office numbers? But I wasn't that excited to see this. I think we talked before about, really? I mean...
Yeah. I was
really
kind of like...
another one of these movies? And now that it's done so well and continued to do so well...
But I've had like 3 friends of mine who've seen it. And like, they're like, go. Like, if you like the first 2, even remotely, you're going to love this one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, fuck. And then they turn around and they announce there'll be another one. Yeah. Which, Bad again, Boys I think I made that...
For life.
Yeah, I made that joke last week. I was like, well, I bet they're really pissed they bit themselves in the ass on the whole Bad Boys for life thing, huh?
Maybe they'll just do it with a number this time and pretend like it's different.
Yeah.
The last one was 4, like spelled out.
Yeah.
F-O-R. This is the number.
That'll be the whole title.
Forever, yeah.
Bad Boys for life. No, do you see what we did?
Yeah,
it's 4, not
right.
4. That'll be the whole fucking title.
Maybe it'll be Bad Boys Forever, and then they can...
Oh, you just fixed it. God damn it.
The Gentleman, that Matthew McConaughey movie we talked about briefly week before last.
Yeah, I want to see that too, and
I do too after seeing the trailers and that special clip or whatever. But it actually got picked up by like another 500 theaters on Super Bowl weekend, so it's actually doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Doolittle, did you guys see that yet? I actually did see that.
No.
It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It was a little bit disjointed.
It's about the best you could say for one of these movies.
It's I don't know. There's more to it than you would think. It's not about him talking to animals per se.
Right.
I mean, I guess that is
it is,
piece
but
of it,
yeah.
Yeah, there's sort of like an adventure he goes on, and he takes somebody with him, and this whole thing plays out. There's fucking dragons in it.
Cool.
But yeah, it was all right. So that is also doing really well. They had a decent weekend last weekend and the week prior. They're at 64 million domestic, and I know that doesn't sound like that much, but the movie didn't take that much to make. Last one.
Hey, speaking of dragging. Oh, you said dragon.
Yeah, dragging. Speaking of dragging, exactly. Birds of Prey and that fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. God damn, it's a mouthful. That's the reason it didn't make any money.
I've heard
2 people that have seen it, and they were like, it's not bad. It's one of the better DCU movies, and I'm like, that's not saying much. But, yeah. And then I've heard reviews on, like, podcasts that I listen to, and...
Not so great.
So,
You've heard?
I don't know if I read this, if I got fooled by the internet, or I was on a parody page that I didn't realize I was on. They've actually changed the title.
Do they?
Yeah. Let me find it. It's now Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
I definitely didn't see that.
Huh.
It almost feels like a joke.
While he's looking that up, and you're about to shit all over it.
Birds of Prey gets a new title in theaters after underperforming at the box office.
Oh, they're going to try to fool people.
Come
see this new movie.
No, its new title is worst opening weekend since fucking shit. What did that? Jonah Hex.
Wow. Wow.
Birds of Prey may have. So this is from. Where am I?
I tried looking it up to try to watch it, and I couldn't find it. So.
Let's see. What website am I on? It's an Apple News story.
Wow. A movie so bad we decided to change the title so you can pronounce it better.
Yeah.
So
because that's the problem.
It was originally projected to do 45 to 55 million. It ended up doing 33 on the opening weekend, which is not very good, especially if you consider that the budget was nearly $100 million for that movie. So last I looked yesterday, I think it was sitting at 85 million worldwide. That's the worldwide number, which leaves it pretty well short of. I think they had an estimate of around 100 million on advertising, which I don't doubt because there was a lot of advertising for that.
I'm gonna have to try to find a way to go see this movie just so we can shit all over it.
Okay.
So the one thing I'll say is that when I went and looked at IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes today, the reviews are good. Like average. Yeah, but 81% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Some of these assholes gave Batman vs Superman a standing ovation too. So let's slow your roll there.
So this is from Apple News /film, original story on /film.com.
Yeah, well, fuck them. They shut off my audacity.
Birds of Prey may have topped the box office last weekend, but it opened far lower than box office analysts predicted.
Yeah.
Second paragraph. After being marketed as simply Birds of Prey and occasionally by the comically longer title Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, the new title, spotted through a couple major movie theater chain ticket sites and apps, is now Harley Quinn: Birds of Prey. You don't actually have to pronounce colon.
But after this shit show, it's fun and appropriate.
Clearly, the hope is that putting the name of the character played by Margie Ribot front and center will bring in audiences less seasoned with DC Comics' girl gang known as Birds of Prey.
Yeah. So, I've heard it's... So
the other thing...
I'm sorry. I've never heard of a movie sort of halfway through after it comes out. They're like, what we should do is just change the name of this thing.
Well, it almost makes sense because we had talked long before this came out about Margie Ribot.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right now.
Get it right.
About her really driving that part of the franchise, and they were really just playing off her. And although she's in all the trailers and everything, putting her name at the front might actually work to do something.
Yeah.
It might have helped from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but this is just showing me that I was right in the very beginning when they announced this movie, and I said, do you remember when she was a hit with Suicide Squad, and they immediately announced like 17 different projects with Harley Quinn? And I said, this is going to blow up in their faces. Mm-hmm. Ta-da. Now, side note, I have heard that the animated series, that's Kelly Cuoco does the voice, right? Apparently that thing's amazing.
Really?
So I got to check that out.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, so on movies, another one I looked up and I can't find, so I'm going to have to try to find a good copy of it because I don't want to spend any money on it, but I want to watch it just so I can tear it apart, and I'm debating whether or not this should be one of our really tear it apart together, but I kind of really want to watch Cats. Just because of all the shit that I've heard about it, I'm like, I have to watch this fucking movie. It is such a shit show.
Yeah, it looks terrible and awful.
Well, do you know that they sent out the first copy they sent out to the theaters was like not even like finished. There was like shit wrong with it. So then they like corrected it, and they were like, okay, it was like a Friday opening or whatever. All right, you're gonna get the corrected copy by Sunday, unless you want a corrected hard drive instead of downloading it. Then you get that on Tuesday. And they're like, what the fuck? And even that one had mistakes in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's like random mistakes in there, like Judi Dench, I think she's in it.
Yeah.
There's one part where, they're furry, whatever. Her hand is clearly not furried anymore, and like you see her wedding band and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's like shit like that. There's like dancers in the background with hoodies on instead of like the cat thing. Yeah, it's really, really bad.
That's funny.
So I'm hearing all these things, and I'm like, God, I have to watch this shit show. I have to. So, okay, moving on.
Moving on. I just had a couple Star Wars items I thought were of interest. There's been the outstanding question of how the hell Luke Saber found its way to Maz Kanata, right?
Yep.
How did it get over there?
E-Trader.
E-Trader. So in the latest comic series that they're doing, which is set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, in issue number 2, Luke has a vision. He's talking to Lando, and Lando's telling him, you should go back to Cloud City so we can find your lightsaber or whatever. And then he has this vision.
Never mind your fucking hand.
Yeah. So he has this vision where he sees like a hooded figure, reach out and grab his saber as it's falling down, the shaft or whatever.
It's fucking convenient,
right? And so it looks like you can't see the figure's face or anything. His skin actually looks dark, but I don't even
Catch
know
of
for
the
sure
century.
it's him.
Catch of the century.
But no, he's standing on like a level below where they were, and so
so he immediately
down,
catches
and
it.
then he reaches out and grabs it, and then Luke's hand continues to fall all the way through into Bespin or whatever.
Fuck your hand.
But so anyway, so the figure says in the vision, the figure says to him, "Just follow your destiny," which is, I guess, like a clue for him. Forget about coming back and finding your blade. That's not what you're supposed to do. The clothing that he's wearing, it looks like Jedi robe. It's brown. It's got the hood up or whatever. But they didn't reveal the person's identity. So hopefully, in the next couple issues, maybe they'll say what they're going to say about it. I mean, it's nice that fans bitched and whined about it. How the fuck did that get there? And now they're going to make a story out of it in the latest comic,
Yeah.
Fine. You want to know? We'll fucking tell you.
As opposed to the actual movies.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
People
is what it
bitched
is.
about those and didn't get shit. Anyway.
Last thing I wanted to say this week, there is now an officially Lucasfilm Disney approved licensed life-size super detailed Baby Yoda.
Whoop, whoop.
They're coming from Sideshow, I think is the name of the company that's making them. So they're accepting
They make good toys. Okay.
they're accepting pre-orders now. They're not going to actually start delivering until August at the earliest, maybe October, depending on where you are on the pre-order list. But here's the kicker: $350 each.
What's your point? You just said that like it's supposed to matter.
Oh, that's fucking
It's
ridiculous.
Baby Yoda.
A life-size Baby Yoda.
I'm gonna
This
buy
life-size
one.
is not even that fucking big. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's small.
Story of my life.
He's small.
So they are.
He just got that.
Baby Yoda's Irish?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have him sitting here hitting the buttons. Don't do that.
Apparently,
Don't do that.
the company knows that some people at least agree with me that that's kind of ridiculous. I know I bought a $200 lightsaber, but it's a fucking lightsaber. Okay, I'm not buying a $350 Baby Yoda. I saw something on I don't know if it was on our page or somewhere else, but something on social media anyway.
I don't know if it was on our page. You mean the one I write? I don't know if I wrote this or.
No, I mean a comment.
Oh,
from
okay.
somebody, and they were like, I'm so excited. My boyfriend bought one for himself and for me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's $700.
Yes, you said that. Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway, they are offering Sideshow is offering 6-month payment plans. If you're not ready to make the full investment, you can pay $52.50 a month for 6 months, and then they'll deliver it when you're done.
Don't miss a payment. Have your Baby Yoda repoed. That would be sad.
Oh man! All right, so
That's all I have.
All right, so I guess before we get into the next episode, last few things. Next week is Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Right, so before we get into that, one thing I shot a text out to you guys, and I know Eric said he kind of saw something, but last Saturday the XFL kicked off.
Yep.
Pun intended. And
Was it though?
yeah, remember Vince McMahon tried to do this. For anyone who doesn't know what the XFL is, it's a new football league created by Vince McMahon, owner of the WWE. He tried to do this back in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
And it was an atrocity.
Yep.
It was just stupid. And it was, back then, too, I was hoping to get a league other than the NFL so that you can watch football more than just part of the year, So it was just god-awful. He tried to change too much shit and It was just stupid.
He tried to bring a little bit too much wrestling into it.
Yes.
I think a couple things that they did. I think the camera angles and the sort of fly cam was started by them, which is now
and the mic'd players was started by them, and NFL picked it up.
Right, which is picked up. The one thing they did that actually made one guy famous, but I don't know that it helped anybody else. You could put whatever you wanted on the back of your jersey.
Yes.
And so Steve Smith, who ultimately became a receiver for Carolina and a couple other people, had "He Hate Me" on the back.
Yep, I remember that.
And they were like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Look over there on the other sideline. He hate me. He hate me. He hate me."
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah. So he did that shit. So now it launched Saturday, and I want to say maybe 10, 12 teams, something like that. It's not a lot of teams, but I was able to watch some of Sunday, where you had the Tampa Bay Vipers versus the New York/New Jersey, I guess, Guardians. Mm-hmm. So they're like New York, but I think they're playing the Meadowlands, just like the Giants, right? Saturday apparently was fine. I didn't see any of the games, but I heard that there was a good reception to it. So I was like, all right, I really need to check this out now. Yeah. So I watched it. So gone are all the dumb shit Vince McMahon tried. There's no more running for the football instead of there's none of that shit. They coin toss it, whatever the fuck they do. But I don't know about streamlined, because they kept saying it was going to be like a quicker game. It's quicker paced. Yeah. There's a shorter play clock and shit like that, but it was still on for like 3 hours. I mean, it takes its time. The halftime is shorter. There's a bunch of shorter shit. But overall, it's just like it's watching football. Right. Here's Noah. Ready to go to bed? No. That looks weird. I know. That's GarageBand. It's a new recording system because our other one's not working. Why? I don't know.
Because we're in the garage.
Because we're in the garage. Now we're the GarageBand. Get it? All right. You want to say goodnight to everybody? Night. Night.
Night.
All right. Don't knock over my mic. Love you. So, yeah. XFL is much better than it was 10, 15 years ago, whenever the fuck he did it last time. Mm-hmm. It's just football now. And I was satisfied with it. I watched it with my neighbor. And, we watched most of that game. And it was good. I enjoyed it. So I'm like, all right, well, give it a couple of weeks to kind of like settle into itself and see how it goes, Yeah. But overall, it's just like another league. And hopefully it'll stick so that way I can watch football for more than just...
the original XFL was in 2001.
There you go. So 19 years ago, Jesus.
Yeah. And this time, they didn't get individual owners, right? So the league owns all the teams.
Right, okay.
As opposed to having individual owners like they did last time. Because all those people lost their asses. And Vince had a deal with NBC, and they both lost... $100 million, something like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. They lost an ass ton of money.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it's taken them like 20 fucking years to try it again. But you can tell it's definitely like
both partners lost $35 million on the XFL, not 100.
Wow. It was under the one I watched was on Fox, and you can tell the whole new WWE Fox thing, whatever. It's kind of like all up in that area.
I was in a restaurant that had the game on, but I couldn't hear it. But I got to watch. It was the St. Louis Battlehawks.
There you go. Yeah, like I said, it looked good. Tampa once again has a team that sucks, so there you go. They look god awful, but outside of that, I mean, they're playing football, so yeah. So it looked good. So that was that. Then okay, so that's XFL. I'm gonna keep following that and kind of bring up updates whenever. Friday is Valentine's Day. Anybody got any plans?
No.
We did our Valentine's Day.
You did. I saw that.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever day I got back, I think, or the day after I got back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Friday, Saturday, something like that.
Something like that.
My wife's
Sunday. It was Sunday. We did a Sunday.
My wife is not super into Valentine's Day.
My wife's not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife posted something on Facebook. Like, I know I don't do Valentine's Day, but.
Yeah, like at all.
I'll take
it took me 3
to Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, because it was like this year for Valentine's Day, bring her someplace she really wants to go, and the girls are like, and it's Hobby Lobby.
Yeah,
and Heather's like, I'm down for that one. Yeah, because it took me 3 years to figure that shit out.
Yeah, we don't buy each other presents or stuff anymore. I mean, we used to when we were younger, but we still go out to dinner usually.
Yeah, not at all.
Nothing else.
Nope.
You just get rid of the kids. I don't know.
It's just
How about you?
we don't do a ton. We get each other like a card and something very small, but sometimes not even that. It's usually harder to get a reservation on Valentine's Day.
Well, that's why we almost never do it on Valentine's Day.
Right,
Yeah,
and now
we
that
did it on
Valentine's Day
Sunday.
is a Friday, like forget it.
Yeah, we had surprisingly, we went to a coveted restaurant here in Winter Garden, and it was easy to get in not on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. We just let's see. When we first got together, she was like, "Hey, I don't do Valentine's Day." I'm like, yeah, "Okay, whatever. That's a trap."
Right.
Yeah. So
It's a trap.
yeah, it's a trap. So of course I come home with the card and the flowers and the candy and blah blah blah. Let's set up I forget where the hell I was taking her, and she was like, "That's really sweet. I didn't get you anything. I don't do Valentine's Day." I was like, "Okay." Next year, I don't do Valentine's Day. I'm like, "Okay." Card, flowers. That was it. Right? Down step. Yeah. Nothing. I'm like, okay. And she's like, "Look, I don't need a day to tell you that I love you." She goes, "It's mandatory."
I'm not going to tell you any other day.
Yeah,
so why would I
yeah,
tell you
right.
on
Yeah,
Valentine's Day?
Nice. It's like it's a mandatory marketing bullshit day. She's like, "No, it's stupid." So she's like, "I don't need that shit." I'm like, all right. So then it became a running gag. Like at work, all the guys would be like, "Oh, I'm getting my wife this. I'm taking her here, taking her there, whatever." They look at me like, "Where are you taking your wife?" "Nowhere." What? What are you getting her? Nothing. You better hurry up and guess. Nope. And this has been an ongoing thing now.
Yeah.
What are you getting her? Nothing.
Yeah.
So she gets nothing. The only time we've done anything for Valentine's Day in like the last 8 years was we went to go see Deadpool. It wasn't even on Valentine's Day. It was like that weekend. So that was like our mandatory love day date.
Mandatory love day date.
Yeah, that's what she calls it. She calls it mandatory love day. So in the vein of, or in, I guess, the recognition of the mandatory love day, for those of you who are forced to, make sure you get your significant other something nice, whatever. I thought it'd be funny to pick a romantic comedy, and neither of you did it, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
I did.
I'm ready.
Oh, good. Because I got no feedback on that at all. So
I got more than one if you want.
sweet. Yeah. All right. Let's jump into it. Well, since you got more than one, start.
All right. So the reason I have more than one is there are things that I like that Becca does not. So they may work for other people.
Tell her not to kink shame you. It's okay.
No, so I would say right off the bat, like Chasing Amy is one of the easy choices, but she doesn't really find it that funny.
Yes, I like the movie, but my biggest disappointment is that what's her face, Joey Lauren Adams, is a lesbian, and I'm like, because that woman is fine. Go ahead.
Oh, more? I get to do more? We're not going to round robin?
Yeah, all right. Well, we can round robin. You want to go? You want me to go?
Yeah.
That was an either or.
You can go or I can go. Yeah, yes.
Super salad. Yes, I'd love a super salad. How big is it?
That's awesome.
A gigantic fucking bowl of lettuce.
It was the big salad. All right, I hope I don't steal anybody's because I'm sure you have this on the list. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was on my list. That's cool.
That was going to be my next one.
I mean, Kristen Bell, mic drop. That's all I got to say. I love that woman. Yeah.
Have you watched sort of off
The
topic
tantric
for
sex
this show,
scene, anyway.
but no, the one with the Don Cheadle. It was an HBO or a Showtime show. I can't remember. Where they're like part of a law firm or something, advertising firm. I can't even remember.
No.
I just watched for her, but
I just know it's Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Heather watches The Good Place, and I only stopped to watch that because she's on it.
Good Place is okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So yeah, the only thing I cared about was Kristen Bell was in it, in a pretty cool looking sex scene. But anyway, not that you actually see anything, but good posture.
Good posture.
All right, what else you got, Eric?
Did you have one?
Yeah.
Did you do one?
That was the same one. I had the same one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's so many out there.
So I thought of one that is really good. It's kind of old, but I have watched it by myself because it's funny enough. Groundhog Day.
Oh,
Bill Murray.
yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, Groundhog Day was
That's
one
my
of
other one.
Yep.
That's my other one.
Yeah, that's
It's-
probably.
It's romantic comedy enough to count,
Yeah.
Yep.
but it's hysterical.
And my
And it's
wife
Bill
doesn't
Murray.
mind that one.
Yeah,
so
and it's Bill Murray.
That's why I had that second one. House of Lies was the name of that show with Kristen Bell and
Oh.
Don Cheadle, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, The Wedding Singer. That was another good one.
Oh, the Wedding
Yeah,
Singer.
I love
too.
that one.
Yeah.
All those ones with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
50 First Dates?
50 First Dates, yep.
You guys want to know a secret? I don't
Uh-oh.
like Drew Barrymore. Like, at all. Like, not
I
physically,
think you
not
said
as an
this.
actress, not anything.
I think you said this one other time, and Paul and I were trying to convince you otherwise because of Charlie's Angels with the little...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it sometimes, like, but no, most of the time, yeah. Of course,
It's
I mean,
definitely no from me.
I want to do something to Kristen Stewart, too, so, I mean, lowest common denominator. Here we go.
Hey, you know,
Sorry, Kristen.
I said it on the review, but that Charlie's Angels lineup was the sexiest one there was, pretty much.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah.
There's always
All
been...
right, now I got to
sort of-
watch this fucking movie.
Yeah.
There's always
Thanks.
been one girl that's like, not this time. Not
Yeah.
this time. Nope.
Alrighty. Yeah, so yeah, there's a good handful of romantic comedies out there. There's quite a few with Ryan Reynolds. He's been in a few of them. He was in one,
Oh,
The Proposal.
yeah.
Is that the one with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, I think so.
There's
Right,
also
yeah,
there's
where,
also
like-
one where he used to be fat.
Yes. Yeah.
Amy Smart?
Amy Smart's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
That one's really good.
Just Friends.
Just Friends. Yeah, that was a really good one. Yeah, in researching this, I was like, oh wow, there's another handful of movies I want to go back and watch again. And I'm like, I can't do that. I
We're
don't
not
have
gonna
time
do
to
that,
watch
yeah.
the shit that I want to, that I haven't seen yet. So
There was another one with I'm trying to remember if it was Devon Sawa or where we sort of like goes abstinent for a little while. It's like 40 days and 40 nights kind of thing.
yeah, it's 40 days before
It's
some
not
shit
Devon
like that.
Sawa though. Actually, that's not who it is.
No,
Something
it's
else.
what's his face, Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tatum.
Yeah,
Channing
that one.
Tatum.
Isn't Jonah Hill in that movie
Which
too?
one is it?
Is Jonah Hill?
Sure, 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, 41.
43 Jump Street Hike.
I don't know. It's one of them.
It's Josh Hartnett actually.
That's what
it's Josh Hartnett.
Oh, we're gonna have to play that game another time. Celebrities that you thought were, but it was the other. It was the other
It was
guy.
the other guy.
Because I just saw an article on that where it had like 30 of them. Where like this one is mistaken for this one, and I was like looking at the pictures, going
That's the same guy.
like, well, you take a test, yeah, like you take a test, and I got like 5 of them wrong. I was like, holy shit! But that was one of them. So yeah, there's a good handful of them on here that I just like. Yeah, I like them. They're fun. I mean, it's one of those where like they're safe common ground you can watch on a date or whatever, So yeah, all right, there you go. So if you want, you can go see one of those romantic comedies and enjoy that.
Go see one of those.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
watch them on streaming.
yeah,
If
whatever.
we named anything,
Go
that
to
would
your
be in the
living
theater.
room.
Yeah.
Well,
Unless
whatever.
you want to go see Charlie's Angels.
Go to your
that might be
television.
in the theater still.
There you go. You can go find a theater
There's
that's
only
still
about
playing
4
Charlie's
theaters
Angels.
left playing it, but it's in there somewhere.
2 of them are in towns you don't want to go to. You might need Charlie's Angels to help get you the fuck out of
You'll probably
there.
watch it in like the Motel 6 theater.
You'll find Kristen Stewart there. All right, and lastly, for Valentine's Day, who's got a celebrity crush or celebrity Valentine? This is gonna get dangerous. This is where I get you guys divorced. Because I had a handful of them that are just like, I just use this to revise my list. Every couple's got their list.
Yeah, it's funny because I've definitely like changed a lot over time. I think.
Mhm. Yeah, because like I used to have like Jennifer Aniston was on mine all the time. I mean,
sure,
she's still
yeah, I
kind of
get
on
that.
there, but
Yeah.
she's like she's in the reserves. Like
Right.
I used to have a big thing for Keira Knightley.
Yeah,
Not so much anymore.
yeah.
Really, I follow her on Instagram, so sorry if I stalk you. Jamie Alexander. Lady Sif from Thor.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
She's gorgeous.
She's in that show Blind Spot,
Okay,
where
Yeah.
she's all tattooed, and you're trying to figure out like what the tattoos mean. And
Yeah. I was really upset that the Big Bang Theory went away because I love Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah.
John's got like a fucking list over there.
I do. I told you. I updated my list. She's on there.
What does she allow you? Like one college rule notebook page or something?
Something like that. Yeah, pretty much.
As many names as you can get on this one page.
Yeah, hey, because none of them are coming true anyway, so whatever. Nah, like Marina Baccarin is another one. Oh, come on. Vanessa, Deadpool, yeah. And I guess
Brody's wife in Homeland.
Yeah. And then, of course, Scarlett Johansson and Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen is probably my new top one. So I'm looking forward to Wanda.
Olsen?
Yeah, I love her. I don't know why.
Okay.
I mean, I do know why. I think she's incredibly hot.
I'm putting Gina Carano on my list now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She could choke me out any day.
That's right. Choke me, daddy.
Want some soup? I'm going to spend $350 on a Baby Yoda doll, and then Gina Carano can choke you in front of it.
I'm sorry, did you say a CPR doll?
Hey, do not question what I'm doing with that doll. Told you, don't kink shame me.
After the Super Bowl, I think I've got a renewed interest in Shakira.
Oh my God, yes, yes. 43 is the new holy shit.
Right.
Everybody and their mother. This is so inappropriate. Shut up, Susan.
We talked about this when you weren't here. We did the Super
perfectly
Bowl,
fine when Adam Levine was up there with his dick hanging out.
we did the Super Bowl thing, and we were like, I'm not sure about I said, there's some controversy. I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to watch this 4 or 5 more times in slow motion and figure out how I feel about it.
It's hard to put my finger on it. All right. Eric's doing research over here.
No, I'm not doing research.
Straight up porn.
Yeah. No, I was just looking.
According to Pornhub,
I was looking at a list of the most popular ladies. It reminded me of one though that I well, maybe I still do. I don't know. I haven't seen her much lately. Hayden Panettiere.
Oh yeah. Whoops. I said that really loud.
I think it probably started at the wrong. And never mind. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it again.
Don't let that out there.
Who is Hayden Panettiere's on Nashville with
Connie Britton?
Yes,
Yeah,
who was the mom in the wife of the coach in Friday Night Lights?
Yep, she was in
also
American Horror Story.
I don't know if she's there anymore because I think maybe time is just taking its toll. But I used to think she was really.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah. Well, being like 10 years older than you, she's still in my wheelhouse.
Is she really 10 years older than me?
No, me.
She's 10 years older than you?
No, me being 10 years older than you. Holy shit. That equation went
You're
all...
10 years older than me?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Nah, get the fuck out of here.
How old are you again?
I'm 10 years older than you.
38.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm more
he's
than 10 years older.
Yeah, he's
I'm
10
more than
years
10
older.
years older.
Yeah. I'm not. I'll be 45 next month.
Yeah, see? You're not
Whatever.
Well, I'm surprised you're
7. I'm close
I
to
turned 50.
10.
I turned 50 this year.
Whoo!
You know who else turned 50 this year?
J-Lo.
Right.
Get your ass up on a
Right.
pole, Paul.
Right. So
Nice segue.
this is gonna sound weird, but I took Presley to dance class today, and this
Wait a
relates.
minute.
Well, hang on. Yeah, I don't know where this is going.
So it's gonna take me there. It's gonna take a second, but I'll get there. It was bring a parent to dance class day, and so I got to go into dance. Usually, I just sit there and play on my phone. I got to go into dance class, and I was doing the stretches and all the stuff, and so they start, and this
What
like
did you wear?
this. Exactly what I'm wearing, like a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and
And a
sneakers.
tutu. That's what he's wearing right now.
Well, these tights that I'm wearing just
Ballet
keep riding
shoes.
up.
Yeah. We can tell what religion he is.
So they're like, all right, put your soles of your feet together and do the butterflies. And she's like, okay, now lean forward. I'm like, nope. That's not a thing that's happening.
No,
So-
that's going to be a fart.
Yeah.
Right. It might be something else.
So yeah, there's no, not that I, was trying to get on a pole like J-Lo, but I couldn't if I wanted to.
True. Yeah. So God bless J-Lo too. Sorry. All right. On that note, I think we're done. Got the visual of Paul and a set of dancing tights in my head now. Thanks. That's not going away anytime soon. Let's replay that halftime show now.
All right.
All right, so for that, that'll be it for the Geekly Weekly and our fun Valentine's Day episode. Let us know what you think. Let us know what your celebrity crush is, and how much trouble you're in after Valentine's Day. Write us that. Write us. Let us know how.
John's advice.
Yeah. Write us. Let us know.
Tell your significant other that Valentine's Day is a made-up holiday. And
Yeah.
and
then,
you shouldn't be into it. Yeah.
Holiday.
and then write me and let me know how that went.
Right.
They're supposed to initiate that. Just FYI. Mostly talking to the guys now. Actually, all right.
We're always
On that,
talking to guys. There's no women listening.
Yeah, there's no women listening. So, guys, they're supposed to initiate a lot more than just that. So, just so you know, welcome to 2020. All right, hit us up at whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks@gmail.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all that happy shit. And we'll catch you in a little while when we do the Geekies. Yeah. I can't say that. All right, good night, Tony.
Good night, Jamie Alexander.
Good night, Becca.
Good job.
Nice save.
Yes.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Right.